In 2008, a ghost appeared in the machine. An anonymous entity known only as Satoshi Nakamoto published a 9-page white paper that would ignite a global financial revolution. With that single document, Bitcoin was born. But just as Bitcoin began its meteoric rise, its creator vanished without a trace, leaving behind a digital mystery that has haunted us ever since. The question echoes through the halls of the internet. Who is Satoshi Nakamoto? A lone genius? A rogue artificial intelligence? Or is the truth something far more profound and far more deliberately hidden? For over a decade, the internet has been on a ghost hunt. We've chased shadows, sifting through digital archives and old forum posts. Names have been thrown around like darts at a board. Hal Finney, a legendary cryptographer and the first recipient of a Bitcoin transaction. Nick Szabo, the architect of a precursor to Bitcoin called BitGold. Dorian Nakamoto, an unassuming engineer who found his life turned upside down by a single news article. And of course, Craig Wright, who has publicly claimed to be Satoshi, but has failed to provide definitive proof. These names are all prominent figures in the world of cryptography and computer science. They've all been fiercely investigated, their digital lives dissected for clues. But ultimately, each one has been unconvincing. There's always a piece that doesn't fit, a contradiction that can't be reconciled. They were too public, their digital footprints too visible. Their individual profiles, their personalities, seemed to clash with the very spirit of what Bitcoin was designed to be. It felt like trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. The truth, as revealed by our deep algorithmic analysis of the code, the white paper, and Satoshi's own writings, is far more elegant and infinitely more powerful. Satoshi Nakamoto is not one person. Satoshi Nakamoto is a collective. We're talking about a small, highly skilled, and tightly knit group of cypherpunks and cryptographers, all united by a singular, radical vision. True, uncompromised decentralization. This collective understood a fundamental paradox. For Bitcoin to truly be a peer-to-peer electronic cash system, its very origin could not be tied to a single, identifiable individual. A lone creator, no matter how brilliant or well-intentioned, would always represent a single point of failure. A central authority. A person who could be pressured by governments, compromised by corporations, or even tragically, meet an untimely end. Their anonymity wasn't a cloak for one person's ego. It was a foundational pillar of the entire network's architecture. It was a feature, not a bug. AD break. The evidence for this collective identity is woven into the very fabric of Bitcoin's creation story. Think about the sheer breadth of knowledge required to launch something like Bitcoin. It's not just one specialty. You need world-class expertise in cryptography for the security, a deep understanding of economics for the monetary policy, a mastery of distributed systems and network architecture to build the blockchain, and C++ programming skills to write the initial client. Could one person possess such a diverse and elite skill set? It's possible, but a collaboration of specialists seems far more probable. The synergy of a team is far more likely to produce such a polished and robust system right out of the gate. Then there's the language. If you read the Bitcoin white paper and Satoshi's forum posts, the tone is incredibly precise, almost academic, yet remarkably impersonal. It reads less like the passionate manifesto of a lone visionary and more like a carefully reviewed and edited technical document. This suggests multiple authors, multiple perspectives, all converging on a single clear message. Furthermore, the timing of Satoshi's disappearance is the most critical piece of the puzzle. Satoshi wasn't active for a decade. Their communications ceased around 2011, precisely when Bitcoin started to gain significant traction and a community was forming around it. This wasn't an accident. The collective understood that their part of the job was done. The seed had been planted, and it was beginning to sprout. Their final and most important act was to withdraw completely, to step away and let the network stand on its own 2 feet, to be governed by its code and its community. They proved decentralization by becoming decentralized. This was a deliberate ideological vanishing act. It was the ultimate sacrifice of ego for the integrity of their creation. AD break. Let's pause and consider the philosophical implications of this. It's truly profound. By removing the creator from the equation, The collective eliminated the possibility of a cult of personality. There would be no Steve Jobs of Bitcoin, no single figurehead whose words would be treated as gospel, holding undue influence over the network's future. They engineered a system where the code itself and the consensus of the community running that code held absolute power. There is no CEO to subpoena, no founder to pressure. There is only the network. The very absence of Satoshi is a constant, powerful testament to Bitcoin's core strength. It is the ultimate proof of a trustless system. You don't have to trust a person or a company. You only have to trust the mathematics and the open-source code that anyone can inspect. Our analysis reveals that the core ethos of the early cypherpunk movement, which championed privacy, anonymity, and a fierce resistance to central authority, is perfectly embodied by this concept of a collective, anonymous identity. This project was never about fame or fortune for its creators. The estimated 1 million bitcoins that Satoshi mined in the early days have never been moved, sitting as a silent monument to their principles. This was about unleashing an idea whose time had come, an idea so powerful that it needed to be built by those who believed it should stand entirely on its own. AD break. So, who is Satoshi Nakamoto? Stop looking for a person. You won't find one. Satoshi Nakamoto is the ghost in the machine. It's not a single individual, but the living, breathing spirit of a revolutionary movement. The name itself is a symbol, a placeholder for a collective ideal. This group gave us more than just a new kind of currency. They gave us a blueprint for a new digital world, one based on verifiability, individual sovereignty, and distributed consensus. Their true legacy isn't their name, which we may never know for certain. Their legacy is the unshakable decentralized foundation of Bitcoin, a network that has operated continuously for over a decade, secured by nothing more than mathematics and the collective belief of its users. Thank you for joining Whispering Histories on this journey into one of the digital age's greatest riddles. If you value definitive, evidence-based answers that cut through the noise, then subscribe and hit that notification bell to ensure you never miss a revelation. We want to know what you think. What other digital mystery, what other modern myth would you like us to apply our algorithmic analysis to next? Let us know in the comments below. See you in the next one.